Welcome back to the Road Show this morning. The Buzz, it really has been an unbelievable couple of days here in Rhode Island with this unprecedented flooding. You know, our crews have been crisscrossing the state, and also you at home have been sending us your photos, so we wanted to look at some of the most astounding pictures from the flooding. And one of the hardest hit areas has been Warwick. As a matter of fact, the Warwick Mall is totally underwater. Take a look at this picture that one of our viewers took. I mean, this is just unreal. You know, how are the shoes at Macy's doing? That's what I want to know. And then right across the street, the Nilo Hotel, which we've been to a bunch of times on the road show, it's right on the river, and it's seeing water spill over their decks there.
That's the top of, I think, the outside.
Yeah, I remember having breakfast right out there, as a matter of fact. Here's some more pictures, and we're just going to kind of scroll through these because it's just incredible, the pictures that you guys have sent. But what are some of the most shocking scenes that you guys have seen? I know weather at WPRI.com is the place that people have been sending you pictures, Michelle.
Well, I've just gotten in hundreds of photos, and we've tried to put as many of them on our webpage as possible. There's a gallery of all of the photos you can go on and see. But, you know, when you think about in terms of, you know, climatologically, what are the chances of seeing this? We're talking about a 100 or 500-year flood at the Patuxent. So whole lifetimes, whole generations of people have never seen flooding this bad around the Patuxent River in particular. So, you know, I mean, we talk about should you prepare for this flood insurance? There are areas that have never been flooded that are now, we're going to have new information about where the flood lines and where the floodplains should be drawn. So it's pretty incredible to see.
I think, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you were saying your neighbors, some of your neighbors are really in a bad predicament, right?
Yeah, it's, the water, we live on a hill, and, you know, in people that live in hilly areas, you know, the water, when it comes, flows downhill, obviously, and the water, on the sides of the road that I live on, the water coming down the hill was like, it was like, you know, the Saco River in Maine, the whitewater type of almost rapids. And, you know, the scene that I saw this morning with Sean Daly on Route 95, to see an entire interstate affected, snow, yeah, we see it all the time, but to see Sean wandering around on Route 95 south this morning.
Walking into and out of the lagoon.
In waders, and the water's up to his knees on a major thoroughfare. And the thing is, that water is going to be there. It's not going away today. I mean, it might take some time for this water to recede.
Probably the Patuxent, it might be until early next week, Monday or Tuesday, before it's back within its banks completely. Now, the 95 will probably dry out, you know, before that happens, but it's just cresting this morning at almost 12 feet above flood stage. You know, the old record was about 15 feet. Yeah. 21 feet almost is what it's cresting at today. So we just, I mean, smashed the old record, which was only set, by the way, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and we're just looking at some of these pictures that our news crews shot. Look at that water all the way up to the top of the playground there and all the swings floating on top. We saw a moment ago a woman taking some belongings that were wrapped in plastic. I remember Aaron Kennedy put together a piece on viewer photos where the water was up to the bottom of the basketball net on the basketball court.
Even just talking, you know, to some of our coworkers this morning, family members who they have flood insurance, they're not even around any of the floodplains of our local rivers and streams, just inundated with, you know, storm water that has then sent the sewage overspilling out of their basement or first floor toilets and bathtubs and not covered by your typical flood insurance.
Well, a friend of mine, the septic tank where he lives in Portsmouth, and literally last night he had to sit in the downstairs bathroom of his house and scoop. He said he was using Chinese takeout buckets, you know, the little containers, and literally scoop water out of his toilet and throw it out the window into his backyard because the water level, every time he would scoop it out, would continue to rise because the septic, and the guy came over, the septic guy said, listen, I could come over and clean this out and fix this,
but it's just going to
come right back up. And it'll be $500, and I'll be back again tomorrow and do the same thing.
Exactly. You know, I have to say, I know that we've been really in touch with a lot of our viewers here as they've been sending in pictures. You can continue to do that. I know that Courtney's talking to people on the live blog this morning about it. And Courtney, I was saying, I'm thinking of making up T-shirts and selling them for $5 a pop that say, I survived the flood of 2010.
I think people actually buy them because they've all been pretty much affected by this. And we're talking talking about this on the blog today, and we have some photos to share with you on Facebook that viewers just posted not too long ago. So I'll just read about 2 comments from foxprovidence.com right now. This one's from Joseph Butera, and he says, I was affected by the flooding. Roads were impassable, causing a 45-minute delay to get home when it should have been 15 minutes. And Jean said same thing for her. 15-minute ride took 45 minutes, and she had 6 detours on her way home. So that ties in with the question we're asking today on our homepage. Have you had to seek an alternative route home due to the historic floodings? A, yes, and it took me forever to get home. Or B, no, the way I traveled was unaffected. And of course, we have amazing flood coverage going on our website with tons of photos and stories and hotels if you need to stay at, and tips for your pets if you do want to check that out. And on our Facebook page, here's a look at some of the photos that were sent in. This one's from Ashley Grenier. I believe that's the Blackstone River there, and she has another one again, and same thing, Blackstone River. Lots of great shots here. And this one's from Shelley Clary. She lives in Little Compton, and she put this little measurement out there to see how much rain they got and to see how much has been there. It's on her deck there. So if you guys have some cool photos you want to share, I'm sure we're all taking pictures with our cell phones and whatnot. You can post them, of course, to our Facebook page. But I'll be back in about 30 minutes with those poll results. For now, back to the kitchen. Lily, what's going on?
Well, I tell you